Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Freelance and Friends. I'm Anna. This is Maria.
Hello.
Hello. And today we will be talking about our stories from working freelance. So, me from my art shop and Maria from touring, right?
So we're basically going to share strange things that have happened at work, and
Yeah.
just have a bit more of
Some
a
fun
fun
stuff too.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, some
So
fun
some
stuff.
fun stuff, some weird stuff. Like
Yes,
it's a good mix.
it's a good mix.
Yeah. So how's touring been like lately?
I have to say the last tour we were on in Oslo was one of the worst tours we've had. I felt maybe at the end of it being like, I think I suck at this.
Oh
Because every
no.
day was just a struggle, to be honest. I think we had 2 days maybe that were good, and most other days were like, yeah, this was fine or horrible. But I'm just choosing to be like, yeah, it's probably just it was just maybe not the best places to go to. Some of the schools we went to weren't interested in anything, I think. So maybe it wasn't us. Maybe it was just really hard to teach in these schools. And yeah, I don't
But I
know.
also think like you've been traveling a lot to cities that are a lot more like nature focused.
Absolutely. Oslo
Maybe
is
earlier.
very
Oslo
challenging.
is
Yeah.
not, right? Oslo is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Norway's biggest city.
Yeah.
And it might not just be a natural thing to be interested in when you're in Oslo.
Definitely not. And I don't know. I think it's probably not something they're interested in, and then maybe we just are not those like cool city kids in a way.
Yeah.
We don't have that like cool vibe that you kind of need to impress the city kids.
Yeah, yeah. The city kids have high standards.
I feel like they do, because I feel like in the
Yeah.
countryside they don't have that many visits from different people, and they don't have that many cultural school bag visits. So when there are some things that happen and it's like somebody new, they are
Mm.
really like, wow, this is so interesting. Like, you are a new person. Like, wow, I love that. But in
Yeah.
Oslo, it's like we see new people every damn day. Please
Yeah.
do something interesting, because otherwise I won't even listen to you.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's much harder. And yeah, the level of like interest in nature is maybe a bit lower.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. There was one kid that said, like, because I was holding up, a dandelion leaf, and I was like, this is dandelion, and I was talking to them about dandelion plants, and she was like, but isn't dandelion the one with the yellow flower? And I was like, yes. So this plant has leaves and a flower. It's the
Mm.
same plant. And it's just like the level of like that hasn't connected, like
Yeah.
that plants have leaves.
Yeah.
They only have I mean, in her head it was like they only have a yellow flower, they don't have the leaves
It's
underneath.
just like, yeah, a stalk with a flower.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I'm just confused at the level of like non interest in nature. Not like, and not it's her not her fault. She's very small, so it's not like her doing at all. It's just the life they live in, and how their teachers and parents and people around them don't like create this interest in their surroundings in a way. It's kind of
Yeah.
strange.
But I remember, like, since I grew up in Oslo, like in
Mm.
the big city Oslo,
Did you
I
know that
rem-
dandelion had leaves?
I hope I did. But what I remember is that there were kids my age when I was pretty young. I don't remember the exact age, but I remember I was in like kids school, so like
Yeah,
what's it called, primary school?
yeah.
Yes. And I remember there were kids that didn't know that milk came from cows and didn't know that eggs came from chickens. And that also maybe just like when I think about that, it's like how can we have failed that badly
So
in
badly.
teaching kids about food and about like animals, and
Yeah.
it's just so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's strange. It
Yeah.
makes me feel like the thing I do is kind of worthwhile.
Mm.
Um, but it's also kind of challenging to teach in that situation because it's like,
Yeah.
why are we learning this? You know, it's there's no interest at all. So yeah, I'm gonna wait until next tour to see if it is me that just has suddenly started not becoming a good teacher, or if it's maybe just the place we went to.
I think it is the place you went to, because I think you've been in like a slump lately with like the YouTube things, and I think that just like that can transfer
Yeah,
in your own like self-confidence around just
yeah,
like being a
absolutely.
person. Yeah, so I don't think it's you,
Yeah, I
honestly.
just feel like I suck at everything these days.
No, you
Honestly,
don't.
thanks.
Yeah. But I know the feeling. Like if you start feeling
Yeah,
like self-aware and self-conscious in one area, it usually trickles over into like all the other areas in life. So
yeah, it
yeah.
does. It does. But what about you? Have you had a strange, strange time at
Strange.
work, or has it been good?
Well, this week I haven't been to work, and because I've
Yeah.
had to be at home with Boomy because he had to have an emergency surgery on his paw.
Oh,
Um, so I've been at home just caring for him, and he's super needy and super clingy. And at first I loved it, and now it's kind of like, please get off me. I need to pee. So yeah, but I have one story at least that is pretty recent. So I can start.
yeah, you start.
All right. So the most recent happening, because I feel like I've only had like one really strange like meeting in the new
Yeah.
shop. So we had like the Italian guy that we've talked about before that hung around the shop for a while. But that's just
Because he
like
fell in love with you from my YouTube video.
yes. So but that's just like
Yes.
it's not that bad, you know?
Hmm.
But like a few weeks ago, I had this guy stop by the shop, and he was walking around, and it was pretty close to closing time. And he was walking around with sunglasses on, and it was raining out. So it was pretty like gloomy already, but he was wearing like these really dark shades, and he was wearing headphones, and like I could hear like the house rave kind of like techno music just blasting from his headset. So I was just
Yeah.
like, I tried to say hi to him when he walked in, but I knew like he was just like phew, closed
Hmm.
off in a way. So he walked around and looked at some of my pieces, and then he took his headset off, and then he asked me like, "Did you make all these?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "All of them?" I was like, "Yes, yeah, I did." And then he said, "Do you love yourself?" And I just got caught off guard, and I was just like, "Well, I try to, I try to love myself." And then he said, I don't love myself at all." I was just like, "Oh,
Oh.
oh no, oh that's too bad." And then he started talking about his issues, which is kind of sad, you know. He
Of
was being
course.
very vulnerable and open, but it was terrifying. So we were alone in the shop, and I noticed like my hands clenching just because I'm a woman alone in our shop, and he was a pretty big muscular guy, like pretty beefy
And he
and
sounds a bit emotionally unstable,
unstable. Yeah, so
which is never a good thing when you meet a stranger. Yeah.
no, no. So he said like his girlfriend of 10, 12 years had dumped him, and he had anger issues, and he had almost killed the guy earlier, and I was just
Oh
like,
gosh.
"Oh.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Oh
that's
no.
too bad." I just like Boomy was in the shop with me at the time too, so I was just like I wanted him to see that I had a dog. just in
Yes.
case, just like show him like, okay, I have a dog here.
Hmm.
But he turned out to be like pretty friendly, and it was like I noticed that he was troubled, so he just needed, I think, to vent. Um,
Yes. Sounds like
but
it.
but that is like one of the most off cuff questions I've had in the new shop. Just like, do you love yourself? And I was just like,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It sounds like he just needed to talk to someone, and
Yeah.
then he just talked to you, I guess.
Yeah, and he was complaining like, "Oh, it's so frustrating that people are afraid of me." And I was just like, "Well, I understand why if you talk about your anger issues and that you beat people up for fun. It's kind of like, well, of course. That's what what do you want me to
What
say?"
did you do? What did you do to like get him out of there? Or
Actually, he took it like he stood there talking for a while. Like I think it was like 20 minutes that he was just like venting, and then it seemed
oof,
like he got self-aware enough to see like, okay, I'm taking a lot of your time. I
yeah,
should just go. But I had also like earlier said like I need to go to the toilet. So, and when I go to the toilet in my shop, I have to close up shop. So he
yeah,
knew
yeah, yeah.
he knew like I was a little bit like I want to get out of this conversation. So
Yes,
he managed to like go on his own. I didn't have to like get him out of there, but yeah.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
But I do get a lot of like people that need to
vent.
vent, and I think like that's a lot of people in
That's
the
you.
service industry as well, like in cafes, right?
Yeah.
Like people talk to the bartender, people talk to the barista. It's kind of like you become that person that they talk to because you can't go anywhere. You're stuck there.
Exactly.
You're being
Mm,
paid to be there, and you're being paid to be friendly. So I think people get that kind of like um false feeling that you are there to help them in a way.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I think also maybe like your shop is kind of cozy and you
Yeah.
are very nice, and like maybe they just see you and they think this nice, beautiful woman sounds like a good person to vent to. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't have
Yeah.
a resting bitch face when you're in your shop, basically. I feel like you're more
No.
just open, friendly, and
I need
people
to
are
get
just
more
like,
rude. I need to be more rude.
you need to work on your bitch face, basically. It's like,
I think so. I think so.
yeah, but you probably wouldn't sell as much.
No, no, that's the
So
thing. Whew.
it's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah. How about you? What's your story?
I was thinking maybe it's kind of related to the fact that we had this tour in Oslo now, but sometimes we also have some funny things happen when we tour the countryside because some places in Norway it's tricky to get to them.
Mm.
And sometimes that kind of ends up being a little bit of an adventure. So it was like one place we were going to on the west coast of Norway, and we had like looked at the map, and we have this plan that the municipalities make for us, and they had written like you are going to take this ferry at this time from this pier.
Mm.
So we were just like, yeah, sure, let's do that then. And the day comes and we drive to the pier and we stand there and we stand there
Oh
and we
no.
stand there and it's not very far. We can like see the other side and we know that the school is just 5 minutes from the pier on the other side.
Oh.
So we're just like, so we're so close, but it's starting to become a bit uncomfortable because if we're not going to make it on time, then we can't prepare for the workshop in the classroom. We need some time before we start the class. So we were just starting to become a little bit like, this is taking a bit too long. Where is this ferry? And we start looking it up and we realize that the ferry isn't really operating during this time of the year. So I don't know
No.
what the municipalities were thinking, but it's probably just a mistake, you know? And we're just like, oh, shoot, how are we going to do this? And we felt a little bit like it was our fault in a way because we were just like, we should have looked this up yesterday, you know, even though it
Mm.
was written on the paper that we're going to take this ferry. So I guess we shouldn't have trusted that. But yeah. So we felt like, shit, we need to fix this somehow. And we see that we can drive around the fjord, but it's going to take way too long. And we start getting really stressed. And we decided to call the ferry operators because we were just like, maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's still running, but it's just late or something. And when we call, we reach this boat that is crossing, and they were just like, "No, the ferry isn't operating at this time of the year. It's just boat." And we were just like, "Okay, so can we go with the boat then?" And they were
Mm.
like, "No, we just basically left pier half an hour ago. We're not coming back until 45 minutes." And we were just like, "Oh crap, that sucks because we're going to this school and blah blah blah, you know." And then they were just like, actually, you know what? Let's just turn around. we're gonna pick you up.
Oh.
So the boat basically turns around and they come and they get us. And the funny thing is that we have a car, so that's why we were going to take the ferry because we have a lot of equipment. So we had to like take all the equipment out of the car, and there were two guys just like randomly coming to help us load all the stuff onto this boat, this small boat. And then we had to call the school, and they would have to come with the car on the other side and then
Yeah.
help us with all the equipment. And yeah, so it was suddenly like four people were just like helping us cross this lake.
Oh my gosh.
And we actually made it on time to the class,
Oh, that's
which was kind
amazing.
of yes. And this school just keeps on. This school is also kind of weird because they have this. Oh, that sucks. I don't know what it is in English, but it's a bird, tiur,
Yeah.
wood grouse.
Yeah. Yeah, grouse. That's right.
Grouse?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so grouse.
Mm.
So there's this grouse at this school, and it comes back every summer. The same grouse just comes
What?
back every summer, so all the kids know it, and it just hangs around in the schoolyard.
What? Does it have a name?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't remember the name. And everyone knows it, and they're always so happy to see it coming back. And it's so friendly. You can pet it, and like
What?
it's really social. But it just hangs around during the summer months, and then it leaves, and they don't see it for most of the year, and then it comes back.
Oh.
And this grouse was like, we were teaching, you know, in the classroom, and I think the grouse just felt so left out at that point because nobody was coming out to play with it. And suddenly we just hear this like dunk, you know. And it was the grouse was trying to fly through the window because it wanted to be part of the class.
Oh no. Oh my
It was fine though, it didn't hurt itself. But it was just, Bendik was just in the middle of teaching and he just looked at me and I looked at him and we were both like starting to laugh because it was like, that's so random, you know, that you have an actual grouse trying to break into your class while you're teaching.
This story should be
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
book or something. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
It's a story about the strange school at the other side of the lake.
Yeah.
I feel like this mystery school.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was a funny day.
Oh my god. Oh, I wish you had remembered the name of the grouse. It just
Yeah,
mm.
let's call her Anne.
And and the
it's
grouse?
almost it's almost your name, but let's call
Yeah.
her Anne.
So you know it was a girl? It was a girl grouse?
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure because I guess they have a different color.
Yeah, I think the males have more like colorful.
Yeah, because she was more like beige.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brownish.
So cute.
But they're
Oh my
pretty
god.
big, right?
Yeah, yeah, they're really big,
Like,
like this big. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I met them in the forest with Boomy. I
oh
met like a
yeah,
grouse with chickens, with
yeah, yeah,
chicklets. Yeah.
yes.
And it started like actually like blowing itself up and doing like
Oh
wing
yeah.
flapping to just
They
like,
can be
hey,
angry.
yeah, 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 just like get away. These are my babies. But they are so fascinating. They're really cool looking. Like they're just
Yeah.
like chunky and with their tiny heads and necks.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
they're really cute.
yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah,
them.
people have actually been attacked by grouse here
Yeah,
in the forest here. So they can be pretty aggressive as well.
yeah. So it's nice that that one is so chill. I mean, it's around
Yes.
kids. It has to be chill,
Yes, she was so chill.
except for flying into the window, though.
Yeah, except for that. She really
Yeah,
wanted to be social. I feel like she was feeling left out.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
poor Anne.
Yeah. Have you like had any like have you met some strange animals in your shop?
This is so funny that you say that because I had this guy stop by the shop, and this was like way back when you had the shared shop, but in the same
Yeah.
street. There was this guy, and he seemed really Viking obsessed because he was like that typical like big burly man with beard and just like rune tattoos, and he was just like
Yeah.
like really much like, oh, I'm a Viking. And he didn't like, he was like, he didn't wear any top, like, yeah, he was just like naked from the waist up.
Really?
Yeah, he was just walking around just like really like showing off.
So
And
this man
he,
just came straight out of Game of Thrones and into
yeah,
your shop,
basically.
basically. Yeah,
But
I see.
he's, I've noticed like he's pretty famous in Bergen. Like I've noticed him after the
Oh,
fact, after he stopped by the shop, because he has this like there's this what's it called, like not a troll hunt, but it's like a you run through the forest through like a
oh
course.
yeah.
And he is a part of who, like, I think he was a part of the initial idea of making that run through the forest.
Oh,
So he is
okay.
very much like an active guy, very much into nature. So like you'd think we'd have a lot in common, but
Yes.
but he's pretty intense. So he stopped by the shop and he was just like looking at some of the artworks. And like Lena had some Viking artworks and I had some like Norse mythology artworks. So he was just like, yeah, it's so cool. and and then suddenly he started imitating a crow, like really
What?
loudly in the shop. Well, there were other people there, so it was just like, "Rah!" And then he just looked at me like I would be impressed.
That's the best thing I've ever
It's,
heard.
it's it was so weird, and he would do it like multiple times. Just like, "Rah!" And then standing there just looking at me like, yeah, you like that, huh? It was surreal. Oh, and I was
What?
just standing there, just like, oh, what is happening? What is going on? I don't I don't understand. Like, is this some kind of thing he does to pick up women? I don't know.
Oh, I love
Oh,
this. Oh my god.
oh, it was surreal. And then he invited me to join his sauna squad, where he and his other Viking men would go to saunas. And I was just like, I don't think that's for me. And he was like, yeah, you would be the only girl. So I was just like, no, 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 I don't think so.
I wonder if all the men in this sauna squad has their own bird
Bird
sounds that
call,
they
yeah.
use. Yeah, we had also an encounter with an elk once in the school, actually. while we're speaking about animals, because we always go to the school ahead of time to look at what plants are growing there and stuff. So it was just like after school, like afternoon thing, and we went to one school to just look at the area. We were walking around in the schoolyard, and we just suddenly turned around, and there's a huge moose like standing there, and in the middle of the schoolyard, and just like running towards us. And it's kind of funny because Bendik and I were just like running, away from it, and it ran past us. Like, but like the people in the school were still in the school, so these kids were like standing in the window and looking at us.
Oh my god!
As we were being chased by this moose.
Did Bendik just run away from you? That's the big question.
Oh, I don't remember. I was so terrified. I don't know. He didn't, I think. We're kind of beside each other.
Okay, good. Because he has such long legs,
together.
He would like run a lot quicker, I would think. Like he would just like
he could easily outrun me for sure. Yeah.
Because that is like the ultimate like betrayal in like a partnership in a way. Like when me and Leo went to Tusenfryd, like the biggest amusement park in Norway, we went to this like horror house. And he would just, because I asked him to please hold your hands around me just in case, because I get so scared, but I love it. I love being scared, but I get so terrified. So he was just like holding around my waist from behind just to like make sure, so that I knew that he was behind me and no one else could come behind me and just like scare me. So he was just holding me really close, and then I looked behind him and I saw a guy just like coming behind him like this, and I was just like, get your hands off me, and just running. I just ran. I was just like, I can't. I just have to get up, and just left Leo behind. And he keeps mentioning it. He's just like, yeah, like you did, like you did that time at the horror house.
It's like you're never gonna be by my side if something bad happens now.
No.
I see who you are. I thought you were gonna say that he left you, so this wasn't turn of events.
No, it was me. I got way too scared. I was just like, just like, get me out. Nothing mattered. I just had to like. But I felt so bad afterwards. Oh my gosh. Poor guy. Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Do you often meet scary people? Actually, I was thinking about this. Does it happen to you often that you meet like scary people in the shop? Like this guy that talked about almost killing a guy?
I mean, very rarely there are like... No, it's not often. It's more like creepy people, not scary people in that sense. So like I had this guy that stopped by the shop, and he told me that he was just in Norway for a few weeks, and he was living in a tent up in the mountain. Right? So I was just like, oh, that's cool. And then he talked to me about his wife for a while, and I was just like, yeah, that's nice. And then he said like, can you please join me up into our tent and please my wife?
Wow.
And I was just like, no, no.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've had more like creeps in a way, or people that don't necessarily have a good idea of what social norm is. Maybe.
Yeah, odd people, basically.
Odd people, yeah. But very rarely there's like scary people, you know?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes when we were open pretty late, like I think we closed around 8 some days during the busy season, there would be drunk people.
Yeah.
And those are kind of like, you don't really know where you have them if they're like sloppy drunk. But usually it's just like, yeah,
Hmm.
weirdos
Yeah.
in a way.
Weirdos. Makes
Yeah.
sense that there are some
Yeah,
weirdos
yeah.
there. In a way,
But
it's kind of a nerdy shop in a way. So.
that's the thing. So I've had like a few fun experiences, and I want to tell you about one
Oh.
of them. Like I used to have bookmarks and like a four bookmark kit, so you can buy like
Hmm.
4 bookmarks with the same theme. And I had this Doctor Who bookmark set. So it had like the sonic screwdrivers of 4 of the Doctors. You don't watch Doctor Who, right?
No.
No.
Yeah.
So they have this sonic screwdriver that is like a thing, but they had different ones.
Yeah.
And then this guy stopped by, and he was British, and he stopped by and he looked at the bookmarks, and he was just like, "That's sonic screwdrivers," and I was just like, "Yeah, yeah, it is." He was like, "Ah, I need to buy that for David," and I was like, "Who, David?" And he was like, "Yeah, David Tennant, which is one of the doctors, one of the people that played a doctor on Doctor Who." And I was just like,
Wow.
"What do you mean you're gonna buy it for David?" And he was like, "Well, he's my neighbor, so I have to give him his sonic screwdriver." And I was just like,
Wow.
"That's the coolest thing." Like that was one of the first years I was in the shop. So I was just like totally
That's
starstruck
so
by
crazy.
these guys. And now I'm just like, haha, David Tennant has my art at home, most likely, at least.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like something that you wouldn't imagine happening,
I
I feel like.
know. That was crazy. And I also
Wow.
had the sister of Daniel Radcliffe's wife stop by the shop,
Wow.
and she was like, "Yeah, he celebrated Christmas with us this year." And I was just like, "What? Really?" She showed me like Christmas photos from like Christmas dinner, and there he was, like with his now wife, and it's just like, that's so cool.
That's
Like I
so
got
wild.
yeah. So I haven't really met like many celebrities straight on. I just met celebrities
Just like by
through people.
curiosity.
Yeah. But I did have Mel Gibson walk past the shop
Ooh.
once. And I
Wow.
also have one story that is a little bit longer about also like a celebrity sighting. So,
Please.
yeah. So, do you know BTS?
No.
So that
Sorry.
is no, 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 that's completely fine. I know you're not tuned into like these types of things because it is a K-pop band. It is a
Okay.
very, very big K-pop band. It's been like a worldwide phenomenon over the last like few years. So BTS has been
Hmm.
like the biggest boy band in the world.
I see.
Yeah. And I grew to be a fan of them through the pandemic. So I listened to a lot of K-pop through the pandemic, and I was just like really nerding out about K-pop. So
Yeah.
I was watching like all their content from years, like so many years. And then I stumbled upon a vlog they had, or like it was a part of like a traveling journal kind of thing from Bergen. And I was looking through it, and I saw them like they are 7 boys, and they are very lively, young, and just like energetic and really like fun and cute.
Yeah.
And I was looking through it, and suddenly I sat there. I had to press pause, and I was just like, they stopped by the shop. They stopped by the shop
Wow.
that year when I first started in the shop. And I
Oh, but
I
you
was
didn't
just
know
sitting
about them
there.
then.
I had no idea who they were. But I remember they stopped by and they had their like vlogging cameras on like selfie sticks, and they were just like walking around outside. And I remember, like, if anyone knows BTS, RM, Jungkook, and J-Hope stopped by the shop, and they were just like walking around. And I remember because RM is the only one that really speaks English. So I talked
Yeah.
to him like in a few words, but I just remember back then I had no idea who they were. So I was just like, "Ooh, why are they filming? What is this?" You know?
I love that.
So I was kind of like,
Crazy.
kind of like not put off, but I was just like, oh, this is weird. It's just that some guys in the shop filming, like. But
Yeah,
now,
and then you're like, oh my god, that's so cool.
yeah, now I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've met like 3 guys from BTS, and I had no idea.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
But I mean, it makes sense though. I was just thinking, like, of course, like you would meet a lot of celebrities because this is the one place people go to in Bergen when they're tourists. Like
yeah,
all the tourists go there, so even celebrity tourists would
yeah.
go to Bryggen, you know?
But I know that John Travolta and Tom Cruise has been on like at Bryggen as well. But I think they usually go there after hours, when it's quieter. So when
Yeah.
I saw Mel Gibson, it was around like 7 or 8 in the evening. So when most of the
Ah.
shops had closed, but we had stayed open a bit later. So I had just closed up the shop, and he was just like walking past me, and I had to do like a double take, just like, "What's that? What's that, Mel Gibson?" And he's so much shorter than I think like thought he would be. He's
Yeah,
pretty short. But yeah.
that's so funny.
So those are my like celebrity sightings.
Wow, that's so
Uh,
cool though. Crazy. Also, yeah, I feel like that's the cool thing about people filming and vlogging and being annoying is that sometimes you can find them later.
yeah, suddenly it's like, oh, that was you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd known back then though. But it was probably for the
Yeah,
best because I think they get recognized a lot. So actually meeting someone that don't recognize them is probably kind of like a relief in a way.
it was probably just nice that you were acting normal.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
I hate meeting celebrities. I get so uncomfortable.
Do you get starstruck?
Yes, but it's more like I get so stressed about being normal,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
You
that
overcompensate.
I overcompensate. Yeah, so I feel like I act almost rude almost because I'm trying to be so casual about it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, same. I try to
It's
like hold
horrible.
myself like chill, but to the point that I just like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. I'm not starstruck at all by you. Actually, you're the least starstruck thing I've ever seen in my life. That's kind of
You're,
how I am.
I mean, you're not talented or anything. Don't
No,
believe like you
no.
know. What celebrities have you met, Maria?
Oh, not that many. I was trying to think if there were any like big ones. Mostly just like these Norwegian celebrities, you know.
Ah, yeah.
I've met some actors from Scum
Ah, because
because they're friends of mine,
yeah.
and it's starting to become normal now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's not in the beginning. It's like
No, 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 no.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
And then I felt kind of sorry for the people because I was like, yeah, this is probably really annoying for you as well, that people aren't really acting normal, even in like a casual setting.
mm.
Must be kind of lonely almost.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Like,
Because I noticed myself avoiding them, you know,
mm,
because I feel that I don't know how to act. And then that is probably really lonely for them
I think so.
because people probably do that all the time.
Yeah, there's this like my favorite podcaster, Blind Boy. He has this thing that he wears a plastic bag on his face to hide his identity when he's doing like public things. And he
Yes.
said in the podcast that like he notices like when he comes into a room, like the backstage area for a festival or something like that, if he comes into the room as himself, like no one bats an eye. It's just like, oh, that's a guy. But when he
Yeah.
takes on his bag, people just change. And they change the way they look at him. It changes the way they talk to him. It changes everything. So just noticing that change when you are a famous person and they recognize you, it must be so
Yeah.
frustrating to be like, can't you just act normal? Can't you just like act like I am a random person? Because
Yes.
noticing that change must be like, ooh, Ugh.
Yeah.
Like what is real and what is not, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that must be really frustrating. Probably passes after a while when people know you for a while, but it's like in the beginning, it's like
Yeah.
this uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. But I haven't met any celebrities while touring.
Ah, too bad.
Yeah.
You didn't have John Travolta chase you through the schoolyard.
No, no. So I feel like your celebrity stories at work are a bit cooler than mine, definitely.
Oh, I had this guy that bought art from me. Like we chatted for a while as he was buying the print, and he told me that he had worked on, like he worked for Disney and DreamWorks, and he had
Hmm.
worked on Pocahontas, on Lion King, on like the
Wow.
biggest movies. And when he told me, I was just like, what are you doing here buying my art? I mean, it's just
Yeah,
crazy that someone of that caliber, like in the animation industry, that is so like, oh,
that's
big.
so cool though.
Yeah. So that made me a bit
I love
starstruck. I
that.
was just like, what do you mean? And I think he told me like he was the character designer of Timon and Pumbaa. And I was just like,
Really?
whoa, that's iconic. That's like
That's really
the
cool.
yeah. So yeah.
And those are some of the really cool characters of that movie as
I
well.
know, I
Mm.
know. Yeah, that made me just like I got so shy after he told me that. I was just like, whoa, whoa, dude.
That's really cool. So do you have like me that you have some stories that you don't want to share? Or is it more like
I mean,
because I
no,
have some
not.
stories that I feel like they're hilarious, but I'm not gonna share them online.
Is it to protect the people that did the hilariousness, or is it to protect your job?
It's both. It's both.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's both.
yeah, I see. Yeah, I mean, I think those are the biggest ones because I get a lot of people that try to haggle and stuff like that, but that's not funny. That's just like
Annoying.
annoying, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're probably just used to haggling in their own country. You know, some people think that everywhere is haggling.
Yeah, but a lot of people from Germany haggle, and then I'm not just like,
That's odd.
Germany? Really?
Yeah, that's a bit odd.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just have to say, I love Germans. I get a lot of German tourists and customers. I love them. You are the best. But some of you try to haggle. And
Don't haggle.
if you place your like my art prints on the counter and you say, I better get a discount, you're not gonna get it.
No. Oh my
No.
god.
Yeah.
Do people do that stuff? Oh my god.
Yes. Yes. And now I have like a sales area where I have some prints for sale, like
Yeah.
discounted. So now
Smart.
there's less because now I can just like, okay, if you want discounted, they're there. You can't get these prints discounted.
That's very smart, actually. I feel like I have some stories, and they're also mostly not so like it's mostly about when it's really tricky to teach and the kids are really difficult. I have so many of these though. Like there are so many schools and places, and yeah, it's tricky sometimes to teach, especially when you don't know the children and you just come into a different classroom and it's like, yeah, here you go, good luck, you know.
It's just like a different
Uh,
dynamic every time.
yes, and there's one school in particular that we've been to many times. I'm not gonna say which school it is, but it's in the West Coast, and it's the same every damn time. It's so difficult to teach there. And we had one workshop there where we were going to, you know, do the plant teaching stuff. And things weren't going so well when we were outside. It was kind of hard to like teach for me, and every time I was trying to teach about something, there would be especially one kid in particular that would like interrupt me all the time, shouting at me and different things, and was really hard to teach. But then we made food with plants, and it was going quite well. I think they like making food, so sometimes that's a good thing with the really, really tricky classes. They mostly fall a bit more into place when they start making food and stuff. But then we have this competition thing. Oh, hello, Boomy. How are you doing? He's so cute. Oh my god. Hello, buddy. You can hear the
Yeah,
stories.
he wants to listen to your story.
Yeah. But yeah, so we were having this competition, and then Nick was going outside. I was gonna stay inside and do the dishes and stuff after the food. And the competition is basically that you're gonna find as many plants of the plants that we have like shown them as you can, and the people that find the most plants basically win. They have these pictures that they look at, and they try to find the plants on the pictures basically, so they can like learn to identify these plants. And yeah, and it's also smart to have the competition part of it, so they have like an actual reward for the people that actually win the competition, and yeah, kind of motivates them a little bit. And then one of these kids that were really trying to sabotage us, I feel like, he just went over to one of the plants that we had been looking at that he wasn't supposed to go and find. It wasn't on the pictures. And it was a bush, and it's a yew tree, basically. It's a very toxic tree.
Oh.
Which we had been talking about the tree because I always teach them that this one is very toxic, if I see it. But he was like, I'm gonna bring this a part of this bush to you guys. But he didn't bring a part of it. He like dug up the whole bush, and he brought the whole bush into the classroom. Like, here you go, you know. And I was like, all right. It's so funny. And I also like I have a picture because I was standing inside and I saw this happen, and I saw him coming over to Bendik with this bush. And I have this picture of Bendik that I took just with Bendik standing there with this bush in his hand being like,
What do I do?
I don't even know what to do about this, you know? I mean, it's nothing to him. Like, he's probably struggling with something. They are very young, these kids that we teach. So I'm not trying to like bash them or anything, but it's like, his objective was to sabotage the whole workshop, and that was his objective from the beginning to the end. And he was really trying to like make us angry all the time. He was also like trying to make Bendik angry, which is really funny because Bendik is so hard to make angry. So he was like getting more and more frustrated with Bendik, I think. So he was just like trying to find new things to make Bendik angry. And in the end, after this bush incident, and Bendik still wasn't angry, he was just like, you have ugly shoes. And Bendik was just looking at his shoes being like, hmm. And then there was this other guy in the class who looked at the shoes, and he was like, I think he has quite nice shoes.
Oh, oh my gosh.
He's so
Oh.
cute. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but we have days like that. And I remember also we had one of the schools that I really remember where I was almost like, I think this is one time where I've been like, should I just stop? Because I can't teach these kids. Like, they can't be quiet. Like, it's impossible. I was trying all the time to be like, okay, now you guys need to pay attention, you know? And it would be like 1 second, and then it would just be like, everyone is talking all the time. And I would be like, okay, one more time, you need to be quiet. And they start talking again. And, you know, we have made our workshops so that they are actually quite engaging. So we don't really stand there and talk for a long time. We just talk a little bit, and then they get to taste things. They get to feel the plants. We have syrups, we have cordials, we have sodas that they can taste, so that it's like more fun for them, you know, because normally talking for a while, it doesn't really work so well. People have the attention span of a fly, I feel like. So it's like, you can't really do that, but it's, even with all of that, which normally works, which normally makes them engaged, which normally is good, it was impossible. And I think they had like 4 teachers as well, but they still couldn't make them go quiet. And yeah, it's just sometimes it's like that. And it was just, I was getting so tired. I think we were looking at the fourth plant or something, and I was just like, my head was just like, oof, I couldn't even focus on what I was going to say. I was stumbling on my words because when they constantly interrupt you, you lose your
Your
trail for what
thread,
you were going to
yeah.
say, your thread. So it's just like I was constantly just like stumbling. And in the end, I looked at them and I was like, I just sighed. And then there was one kid, this like little kid who just looked at me and he smiled and he was just like, yeah, welcome to our school.
Oh my God. Oh, he knew.
It was so hilarious. I was like, thanks, buddy. And he was like,
Oh, he felt you. He felt
yeah,
exactly what
yeah,
you were going through.
yeah.
Oh my God. He was just like, you're lucky you just have to be here one day. I have to be here every day.
Every day. Yeah, poor kid. Oh, it was like really cute though.
Yeah. Oh, did you feel seen?
Yeah, I think he tried to see me at least. It was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are just so cute sometimes. Like they're so self-aware, some kids, and it's just like that they are kind of adults inside in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because there are some kids that come over after class and they say, "Thank you so much for being here. It was really interesting. I had a lot of fun." Like
Oh,
it's like they don't have to do that. They just
no.
probably somebody taught them that it's like
That's nice to do.
nice thing to do. Yeah, so they're very
Yeah.
self-aware at a very young age. So
I
yeah,
was so
it's
shy
really
when I
cute.
was a kid. I could never. I would just be like, "Oh, I'm out of here." Once it over, I
Yeah,
could enjoy it really much. Like I could really like enjoy some kind of classes like that, but I would be too shy to talk to the teachers.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Especially like new teachers, like
yeah,
strangers. I think it's kind of impressive actually that they
it
dare to.
is. I
Yeah.
agree.
We had one kid also one time. I don't know if I maybe talked about this on the podcast. I'm not sure.
Tell it
Maybe I did.
anyways.
Yeah. It's like he was also very like that. So he came after class and wanted to talk with us, and we had been, that was the paper making class. So we were just like fixing up the paper stuff and like cleaning and stuff. And he was in the doorway talking to us. And he was just like, "So I have a question. Do you guys teach this every day?" And we were like, "Yep, that we do." And he was like, "Do you do that twice a day then?" And we were like, "Yep, we do that." And he was like, "So you basically have to say the same thing and teach people the same thing over and over and over and over again every day." And we were like, "Yes,
Yes, exactly.
exactly." And he was like,
Yes.
"I get so annoyed when I have to do that, when I have to teach people how to play a game and I have to tell another person because they are late, because then I have to say it twice and that's so annoying." And we were like, especially, yep, we see what you mean. And he was like, "I would not like to have your job." That was so good. The thing with that was that I was like, "You're so right. I
You're
haven't
so
really
right.
thought about
Yeah.
that. I haven't thought about that. But of course, I'm so tired of doing this because I have to say the same thing every day." And I've
Mm.
thought about that a lot ever since he said that thing because it's
Yeah.
like, why have I never thought about that? Of course, that makes me tired.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
it's not exciting anymore if you have to repeat it all the time. That's kind of like the same
Yeah,
thing, like at the end of the season when I feel like I'm so sick of telling people that I use watercolor and use gouache. I'm just like,
yes, we
I don't
talked
want
about
to answer this question anymore.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like he just pointed out something that I
Yeah.
hadn't really thought about. And I feel like I've noticed myself more and more over the years with, for example, the paper making, since it's the same over and over, I get more easily annoyed when they don't pay attention.
Mm.
I've noticed that the thing that kind of makes me the most tired isn't really that they make a lot of noise or that they are like a bit like, have a lot of energy. It's
Mm.
when they don't listen,
Yeah.
because then I have to say it many times during one
Yeah.
workshop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's always like, there can be some classes, especially some groups, that just they have this dynamic where they look at you and they say, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, please help, 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 and they shout all
Mm.
the time, all of them. And I go over to one and I look at them in the eye and I say, you're going to do this, this, and this, you know?
Mm.
This is what you're going to do. And I say it in a nice way, And then 1 second passes and they're like, and then they focus on something else and
Yeah. Yeah.
they forget what you said and you have to say it again
Yeah.
and again and
Yeah.
again. And sometimes I actually say it 4 times, like, and
Oh.
5 times even, like, hello, hello, you
Yeah.
asked what you were going to do. You need to do this. And there are 10 other kids shouting at me to get
Yeah.
help. And this one kid is just not listening. And it's like, that is the thing that makes me the most annoyed and the most tired. All the other things I can handle, but when they don't pay attention at all,
Mm.
even when I'm looking them in the eye, I
Mm.
think, and I think it's because of that thing that the kid said, that I say this thing so many times
Yeah.
all year that
Yeah.
when they like make me say it 5 times, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like my world is crashing down. I'm just like so tired of saying it. It's like,
It's just like, please, please, just like not one more time.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
please don't make me say it one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like this kid, he really got it. He was like
He gave you
really
an
clever.
identity crisis, basically, in that moment. He was just like, this is the issue. Take a look at yourself and what you're
Exactly.
doing.
He's a clever little man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It feels like Boomy is telling us that this stuff has been going on for way too long now. I'm done with this. Now we need to give me attention.
He's been so needy after the operation. He's just like on me 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
guess
funny
it's
how they do that. They feel
yeah.
safer, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a comfort thing. And also like he
Yeah.
can't walk for that long now because his paw is healing. So I think he's a bit bored as well. So he's just like seeking some kind of just like
Yes.
pet me, take
July.
care
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
me. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is he doing okay though?
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's all
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I think the people will be glad to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, he's doing good. He's as
Yeah.
sweet as ever. Really happy, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that this will be the end of the poor problem
Saga.
saga. Yeah, because it's
Mm.
like it's been so long, right?
Yeah.
So
It
now I'm
really
just
has.
hoping it's over. I want to close the book on this issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's over too.
yeah, yeah.
And Anna has actually had her launch.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm in the middle of it.
So yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like before we end this podcast, we will just I would just like to ask you just how it's going with the launch, because we have been talking about it.
Yeah. So not everything went as planned because Boomy happened, and
Mm.
before he actually had to go into the operation, into like emergency operation, that was on Monday, and the launch was supposed to happen on Monday, and he had his paw, like the claw issue, has been for a week and a half now. And it's been like in the middle of the most important week where I should have been promoting a lot and I should have been posting about the launch and doing all these business things. It's typical. That's the thing. So, like, not everything happened the way it was supposed to be this time. So I feel like this has become more like a test launch in a way. Just like now I know how I want it to be in the future. I'm 3 days in the launch, so I managed to actually get it up and running on Monday after we got home, and I was finished crying about Boomy's condition. Yeah, so I've had like a few sales. I'm really happy with the sales that I've gotten. So thank you if you're watching. Thank you so much
Mm,
for buying my stuff. So I'm planning to do a little bit more of promoting now for the next few days because the launch ends on Sunday. Um, so I'm going to try to do a little bit more, and then I can get back to you guys as well when this launch is over. I can give you a rundown of all the things I've
yeah.
learned, how I would do it differently, and what I'm going to do
Yes.
the next time.
One thing I immediately thought of is that this is such a bad timing for
Yeah.
you to launch because it's so close to busy time in your
Yeah.
shop, I feel like.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe
with
you have to
Boomies.
be like us as well, that you do like twice a year and that you do it only during those quiet times. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was planning to do four because I want to do it like seasonal so that I can do
Mm,
like the prints in the season. So like for autumn launch, it's going to be autumn themed paintings, and
yeah.
prints. So that it's like seasonal. So I was thinking four, but I'll have to see how it goes. Now I'm thinking maybe I'm going to do like a surprise launch as well with a Boomy theme.
Yeah.
If people want to support Boomy in his journey, because he's been expensive for the past half a year. Um,
Yeah.
so doing like a Boomy theme, just like see if people want to have something of Boomy. Like I have a lot of prints with him in it because I paint Boomy a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, it's natural. But
Of
like doing
course.
something like that, and then just like so that people know that everything goes to his vet bills. Nothing goes to me. So like most of this launch too is going to his vet bills, like his medicine and his treatment. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but that's a really good idea.
I mean he's
Isn't
a
he like
cutie.
their favorite? I feel like he's like their big favorite on Instagram, so
Yeah. Boomy is more famous than me.
I feel so
people want
too.
to people want to take pictures with Boomy, not me.
I feel like we talked about fame in our last episode. We should have asked Boomy all
I
along. He would
know.
know.
I think he would love it. I think he would love to be famous. I think he is a star. He would love to be like super famous and everyone would just run up to him and be like, "Oh my god, Boomy." I think that would be
Yeah,
like his dream life.
I think so too. I really think so. But thank you so much for this episode, Anna. This is actually the last episode of this second season of Freelance
Yeah.
Friends.
Oh,
We're
that's
going to take
right.
a bit of a summer break so that we can work on other things, and we will hopefully be back.
Yes. We will.
And we will let you know. We will let you know when
Mm.
that is. Yeah. And yeah, I feel like we grew our listenership a little bit this season. So thank you so much to all of you that tuned in. We really
Yes.
enjoy having you here.
Yeah, we do.
And also thank you so much for your comments and everything. It means actually a lot to us to see that there
Yeah.
are some people out there listening. And yeah.
Yeah. I've had actually a few people stop by the shop telling me that they listen to the podcast
Oh,
and
I love
telling me
that.
how beautiful, like how important it is for them. And
Mm,
like every time I get so I almost get emotional because it is that kind of thing that you and me, like we are. I just love having the excuse to chat with you like regularly like
yeah,
this, Maria.
same.
And
Yeah,
it
same.
feels like such a blessing that people enjoy listening into us just chatting.
It's so crazy to me, actually. I think
Yeah.
that's so nice that they say that. Wow.
Yeah.
We just kind of, yeah, like you say, we feel like it's fun to do because we just enjoy talking with each other about these things.
Yeah.
So it's so nice that some people actually enjoy listening to it as well. So take care, everybody, and until next time, we
Have
will
a
see
nice
you.
summer.
Yeah, have a nice summer. And
Yeah.
I will talk to you soon, Anna.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
bye.
Bye.